today debating asylum and migration, but let's be clear, this debate has been framed by dog whistles, distortions and dangerous rhetoric from the Conservatives and others. I will not stand by while human beings are dehumanised, scapegoated and treated as though they are less than. Because no one is illegal. What is illegal, what is shameful, is the stripping away of rights, the deliberate spreading of misinformation and the whipping up of hatred by politicians and parts of the media. They are fueling the fire of racism and fascism in our communities. And this situation has been created by design, not by those seeking safety, but by those who would rather manufacture enemies than face up to the real problems. The threat to our country arrives not in small boats. It arrives in private yachts and jets. The Conservatives come here with their hate-filled rhetoric, yet it was they who closed the routes to come here safely. They are the proud party of empire, but empire has consequences. You cannot invade over 170 countries, subjugate millions to colonial rule, then feign outrage when people seek safety, family and community in Britain. Our history matters. The illegal invasion of Iraq in 2003 destabilised an entire region. Without our greed for oil, many would never have been forced to flee in the first place. We bombed Libya and left it a failed state. British foreign policy continues to create the very displacement the Conservatives now cynically exploit for political gain. And cynicism runs deep. The decision to house asylum seekers in hotels was not about care or compassion. It was about lining the pockets of Tory donors during COVID while stoking public resentment. It backfired. They lost in a landslide. But instead of learning, they doubled down, exploiting the most marginalised to divide society even further. And we see the consequences. In Falkirk, a brick was hurled through the window of a hotel housing asylum seekers. That's not mindless vandalism, that's intimidation, it's racism.
As for the numbers, asylum applications peaked in 2002 at around 84,000 a year. In 2024, the number was around 84,000 in the year. Now, the figures so far for 2025 do show a slight increase, still significantly fewer than many other European countries, and the current peak is similar to previous high points. And that's nothing to be surprised at, given the growth in conflict and economic or climate stress around the world. Most claims are legitimate. They are found to deserve and need the right to stay here. And the backlog, as others have mentioned, is entirely the result of deliberate choices by successive governments. As for housing, what broke the UK's housing system is the long-term decline in socially rented housing and its replacement by a rapacious, exploitative private rented sector. Asylum seekers are not to blame for the lack of investment in affordable housing. They're not to blame for landlords hiking rent. They're not to blame for the pressure on our public services. These are the results of choices made by successive UK governments. Now, the explicit hostile environment policy of the UK government began around 2012, and anti-immigrant and racist sentiment peaked with Brexit. But even then, even at that stage, what we're seeing now might have seemed unthinkable. Openly racist, ethno-nationalist ideology is being mainstreamed. Members of Parliament openly discussing mass deportation and questioning whether black and brown people can ever be considered British or English. The UK Shadow Justice Secretary quite content to be photographed in the company of a founder member of Combat 18, a neo-Nazi terror group. And a man who proudly showed the world a Nazi salute is now using the social media platform he bought not only to tolerate explicit far-right racist and conspiracy content, but actively paying people to generate it.